This keyboard came in the mail about 2 weeks ago. I've been using it since, and I quite like it, so let's get into it. So in the box, we have everything inside here, and that includes a USB-C cable, spare keycaps, and a key puller. So the keyboard is a Keychron K1 wireless mechanical keyboard that I purchased directly from Keychron's website. And the one I purchased has Keychron brown switches on them. It shipped directly from China. It took about a week, which was quite surprising considering the state of the world. You can order the keyboard with a number of different switches and different backlight options. The one I got was the Keychron brown, but they come in also blue and red for either a clickier or a not so clickier sensation. I got the brown, which is right down the middle. It also comes with RGB backlight or just plain white backlight. I just got the plain white backlight because I'm not in the RGB life. So out of the box, the first impression is that it is a thin mechanical keyboard. It is black, the one that I ordered, with a aluminum body, so it actually feels pretty sturdy. There's no flex or anything of that nature with the keyboard. While it is a thin keyboard, it's not as thin as something like an Apple keyboard, but it gets close. It's just that the mechanical switches, as you can see, brings the keycaps up by a good couple of millimeters. The unit itself has a couple of switches on the top for Bluetooth on off, and also being able to switch between macOS, Windows, and Android layouts. It also has a USB cord that you can charge with and also connect via USB if you don't want to connect through the Bluetooth. And speaking of Bluetooth, it can connect up to 3 Bluetooth devices using the function key and 1, 2, 3. So the keycaps there are labeled with Bluetooth, and that works fairly seamlessly. There's also a couple of indicator lights on the top showing you the Bluetooth status, the battery status, nums, caps locks, and whether it's in Mac or Windows mode as well. This is also a backlight illuminated keyboard, and there are a variety of different patterns and light shows that you can perform with the click of this button right there. As mentioned, I got the Keychron brown, and they are actually pretty silent, and they don't feel like the Keychron browns of the thicker keyboard, which is interesting. This one has a softer touch than the K2. Again, it's very subjective, and this might just all be in my mind. I'm not going to perform any weird scientific tests of that because it's a keyboard. The feel of the keycap also feels a little bit different from the K2. In a previous video, I mentioned the K2 feels sort of like eggshells, but this one has more of a plasticky, almost not quite rubbery, but somewhere approaching like a rubbery feeling. So it doesn't feel exactly like the thicker mechanical Keychron keyboard, but it does feel like a mechanical keyboard. I became a fan of the Keychron brown switches in the K2, which I've been using for about 3 months now, but I didn't quite like the layout of it and the thickness of it. So the K1 should theoretically solve both those problems. So after 2 weeks of usage, I'm definitely going to be replacing my old DAS Ultimate keyboard with this keyboard. I love the low profile. It's very comfortable. I love the tactile feel without making too much noise, especially in a small room that I'm in now. It doesn't drive me nuts that way. And definitely it's all about the feels, like I said about keyboards before. And I do really like the Keychron browns. So right now, I honestly have not much bad things to say about this keyboard. It feels good, it looks great, and it is sturdy as fudge. Well, sturdier than fudge. So maybe the only downside about this is if you're planning on using this as a travel keyboard is that it might be a little bit too long for that. And one of the problems is that because of the exposed switches over there, as you can see, it can snag up on things inside your backpack and then the keys will pop off. So that is probably the only downside I can think of at the moment about this keyboard. Obviously, that's just 2 weeks of usage. What my shtick is that I buy things and I use them and then I give my opinions over a certain period of time, up to a year or even more, and then say how my feelings change about the device. So right now though, it's great. I would buy it again, and I would even recommend my friend who has been looking for a thin replacement to the Apple keyboard to get this keyboard. So you know who you are. Highly recommend it when they come in stock. So that's it, my short recap of the keyboard, first impressions, and hope you guys have a good time. See ya.